Now to the 5 Michigan men facing federal charges in the plot to kidnap the governor will stand trial. Good Friday afternoon. I'm Alan Campbell.
And I'm Glenda Lewis. A federal judge in Grand Rapids ruling there is enough evidence to move forward with the case against the suspects who were in court today. Ty Garbin of Heartland, Daniel Harris of Lake Orion, Caleb Franks of Waterford, Brandon Caserta of Canton, and Adam Fox of Potterville, all facing up to life in prison if convicted.
And we've learned new information about the alleged role of Brian Higgins in the plot, the latest suspect arrested yesterday in Wisconsin. 7 Action News reporter Jim Kurtzer is tracking it all from the federal hearing in Grand Rapids and joins us live with what he found out. Jim?
Yeah, Brian Higgins is in jail over in Wisconsin, but the evidence, the testimony from court here today was that he assisted doing surveillance on the governor's vacation home last month with video recording. Then he told the FBI yesterday after he was arrested, he wanted to get that video back. Back on the witness stand, FBI case agent Richard Trask, who testified that this man, Brian Higgins of Wisconsin, was in one of 3 cars that did nighttime surveillance, Governor Whitmer's vacation home last month, that Higgins had a personal dash cam recording outside and inside the car, that Higgins had given a copy of that video to a confidential source in the group who was working with the feds. And after his arrest yesterday, Higgins told the FBI he wanted to get the incriminating video back. The testimony included that's why Higgins and another man from Wisconsin were not charged by the feds with conspiracy to kidnap. Higgins is charged by the state with supporting terrorism, a 20-year felony. The prelim today focused on the alleged ringleader, Adam Fox. He worked in, lived in, and allegedly held secret planning meetings through this trap door in the basement of the Vac Shack in Grand Rapids. That a confidential informant spent hundreds of hours with Fox, much of it recorded, and that Fox has ties to a group called Michigan Patriot, 3%. That informant was paid $14,800 by the FBI. 7 Action News was on the scene when the home of Ty Garbin was raided last week in Heartland. His defense attorney trying to poke holes in the government's case that there was no conspiracy because of several plots. Kidnap the governor of Virginia. That didn't happen. Open the door and shoot Governor Whitmer. That didn't happen. Disguise as a pizza delivery man and kill the governor. Shoot at the governor's house. Go to a Home Depot. Recruit people to vandalize the governor's house, leave the governor on a boat in the middle of Lake Michigan, storm the Capitol. But the prosecutor pointed out Garbin was part of the surveillance of the governor's home and that he's on that video. The 2 guys from Wisconsin said they wanted out of the kidnapping plot. The plot against both governors was allegedly because they both imposed strict COVID lockdowns last spring. President Trump tweeted out in April against those, saying, "Liberate Michigan. Liberate Virginia." But the FBI agent testified that plot was being formed before those tweets. After court, defense attorneys for Garbin say they've only gotten very limited evidence so far from the government.
What if our client said something on those to those confidential informants like, "You got to stop this," to the confidential informant? "I want out. I want no part of this." Do you think that would have made a difference today?
Now we have much more on this coming up next hour at 6, including why the feds moved in last week. One of their confidential informants was in trouble, and we've just been given copies of more than 24 exhibits presented into evidence here that include pictures and videos from those undercover informants. We're going to show you all of that next hour at 6. Live in Grand Rapids, Jim Kurtzner, 7 Action News.
And we expect more information to come forward as this does eventually go to trial. Jim, thanks for that live report.